Okay, welcome my third graders. Today is pajama day, so you'll have to excuse my cheesy outfit here, but I got the Lakers going, the Kings, and the 49ers. Today we're going to be reviewing life in the desert. This is chapter 1, lesson 2. Just like some of my other videos, and you guys know in class, the words that are underlined in red are the focus words or the focused concepts, and those are the things that the test is most likely going to be asking questions about. So let's dive right into it. Once again, this lesson is about life in the desert. First thing you need to know that the desert is a biome, and scientists classify biomes according to if there is a lot of features that are characteristic of one particular area. So deserts have a lot of characteristics that are very similar. So they're like, all right, that's a desert area. Whereas a tropical rainforest is a whole nother different kind of biome, because the land and the trees and the animals and the look of the place looks totally different, okay? So a desert is a biome once again because it has a lot of similar features. And okay, so that's one of the things you need to know. Secondly, you need to know the importance of the sun, or what the sun does in a biome. The sun warms up the air, and the sun also warms up the land. So I tried to show that there. You can see the sun is warming up the air, and you can see the sun is warming up the land. Desert biomes only get about 25 inches of rain each year. Okay, so not very much at all. And because the desert biomes don't get a lot of water or rain, the plants and animals have to adapt and do a lot of different things in order to survive in this kind of biome, in this environment. One of the ways that plants have adapted is by developing these waxy leaves. And we did a science experiment in class, or we tried to anyway, where we took wax paper and we covered up a paper towel that was wet. And then there was another paper towel that was also wet, but that we did not cover with wax paper. And what we realized, and then we put the two paper towels in the sun, and we realized that the paper towel that was covered with wax paper, at the end of the day, the paper towel was much more wet than the paper towel that was not covered with wax paper. So what we realized is plants are kind of the same way. Because plants have waxy leaves, it stops the water from evaporating from that plant, so they're able to survive in the desert much longer. Okay, so that's one adaptation, is the waxy leaves. Another adaptation that plants have is that their roots go really deep into the ground. And that kind of brings us over here a little bit. The rain here, because there isn't a lot of humus in a desert biome, dead plants, dead animals, most likely because, yes, there's plants and animals that die, but the bones and the dead plant material, because it's so hot outside, it's real, it decomposes really fast because it's so hot and dry. And so the bones and the dead plants don't stick around very long, and it ends up breaking up and just becoming a part of the sand. That's why you don't see a lot of bones and dead plants and that sort of thing in the desert. It's because they decompose really quick, break down, and end up just turning into dust and into dirt. Anyway, the rain in a desert goes really deep into the ground. Desert, you know, it's just made of sand and that sort of thing. So the water gets really deep into the sand. I don't know if you can see that way down there. So because the water is very deep, plants have to have really deep roots in order to get all the way down to the water. Okay, so that's an adaptation that plants in the desert have, is that they have these really deep roots. And you can see that here. Plants have adapted to deserts by growing deep roots. So, and adapted is a word that I've underlined. You're going to need to know that. Another adaptation that animals have in a desert biome is that they're nocturnal. We've talked about this a little bit in chapter 1, lesson 1. is that plants sleep during the day. Because it's so hot, they don't want to go outside. So they sleep during the day when it's super hot. And then at night, they come out and then they do their hunting and their living. So mostly people and animals, they sleep during the night and go out during the day. But in the desert biome, because it's so hot during the day, animals have adapted to this by sleeping during the day, maybe underground like in a tunnel where it's kind of cool and the sun's not getting to it. And then at night when the sun goes down, then they come out of their little hole and then they can do their eating and living and that sort of thing during the night. So that means nocturnal, sleeping during the day. I think we've pretty much covered a lot of this here. The waxy leaves, the deep roots, the rain that goes very deep. The desert is a biome. It has a lot of similar characteristics. The importance of the sun, or what the sun does in warming the air and the land. Another thing you need to know about deserts is the temperature is very drastic. It's super hot during the day, but then at night the temperature drops big time. So temperature drops drastically at night to below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's another important thing to keep in mind. Is the massive temperature change in deserts. And if you guys watch this video, you look at the vocab, you look at your notes in your notebook, and maybe you reread the lesson, you're going to be able to pass this quiz with ease. I hope this video lecture's been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys in class.